Right, this is the final part of the diaphragm article. I brought the membrane that I bought. It's I got a sheet of it. It's cheap to buy a sheet really, because I'll use it for other stuff. I think it's like £7 or something. So I've fitted it. I've had it gluing and sitting under this for a few days. Well, not a few days. Yesterday. So some heavy weights on there just to make sure it sets. I have of course put the linkage in the right orientation. I've replaced a screw in there, so now the diaphragm can move. The spring of course holds it in position when it's all together. So I'll just trim this off. This has just been glued with some sort of household sealant stuff, and it's worked quite well. It's set, so I'll give it a trim. There we go. Pop that back in there. Right, this is the original piece. I've cleaned it up, painted it, annealed the edge, painted it. I've got a bit of rubber in this time to try and stop it sliding around quite so much. So I'll put that in. This obviously needs to sit in there, locate, so I'll just check that first. There we go, make sure it's sitting over the screw cleanly. If you can see that, get that in. And all I've got to do now is clamp it down and make sure it's all in the right position centrally. Get this off the rubber. There we go. What did I put on there? Did I put that on? Not sure I had that collar on before, did I? I honestly can't remember. Did I have a washer? That looks right. No, it doesn't. It's not big enough. I think maybe I just had that on. Anyway, as long as it holds it still, it doesn't matter. Okay, that seems to be okay. Looks pretty central. I've got the rubber under to stop damaging the metal and hopefully hold it still while I tighten it. So I'll just hold this pulse down with a screw into the bench. There we go, right. Get myself a hammer and a little punch, a little square punch. I might try that one. And it's just a case of moving a little bit. I was hoping the rubber would stop that happening, but as long as it doesn't move too far, and I'll keep it central, I think we'll be okay. Just rotate it a bit so I can do that final piece. about it. Hopefully it'll work. It should do. There's no reason why it won't. I have stripped ones in the past before where it looks like from new the diaphragm material hadn't been clamped properly, and they didn't use glue, I don't think, in the original ones. But basically it failed before it even hit the road. So the membrane had been dislodged and it wasn't given a seal. So I suppose with this one you could just wrap the seal around and fold it in there and clamp on both sides, but I'm guessing that the metal to metal contact would rip it, break it, cut it, and it's likely to fail again. So gluing it, it's just some stuff out of a tool station catalogue I got, and it seems to work really well. It's like a hard rubber once it's set, and it seems to stick to everything. So, but there we go. It's not quite perfect, but we're getting there. I'll probably just nip these edges up in the vise and just make sure it's nice and tight. But to all intents and purposes, that's done. So I need to put it in the car and see if my acceleration is better. But as good as new almost. I'll clamp it, give it a little squirt of paint just to renew the paint that I've chipped off, well, rubbed off on the rubber, and hopefully I'll just nip it up in the vise, just crimp that edge over, a bit at a time, slowly. Right, there we go. I'll give it a little squirt of paint and back in the car later. Right. Should dry quite quickly. I've got a couple of coats on when I go for my lunch. So right, there we go, job done. Looks almost as good as new. Once it's on, you won't notice the difference. I'll leave that to dry, fit it, I'll give it a run, and I'll get back to you. But there's no reason why that won't work now. That material is good stuff. I've used it before. So if you've got a failed one, have a go at fixing it. It's not difficult. Annealing the edge is the key thing, because I've done them in the past and I've not annealed them, and I've got a little bit of cracking going on the final fold, but not this time. It's as good as. So all good. Right, that's me. Bye bye.